Hello, everyone. Good afternoon. Good afternoon. Sorry to break up such wonderful conversation today. This is a great crowd, a lot of energy, a lot of positive energy in the room today on this really cold day. So very, very excited that you're all here. So my name is Christian Maslowski, and I am proud to serve as Aspire's Johnson County's president and CEO, and I'd like to say welcome to the Greenwood State of the City address. Aspire's mission is to drive economic development and business success in Johnson County and Southern Indy. As the local economic development organization for Johnson County, proudly representing the city of Greenwood, we leverage community development opportunities to attract, retain, and expand businesses in the county. And as the Chamber of Commerce, we lead the area's business community by providing pro-business public policy advocacy and comprehensive member services to entrepreneurs, small businesses, and large corporations like all of you here in the room today. So today's luncheon honors a commitment as a partner to the communities we serve. We're excited to host Greenwood Mayor Mark Myers' State of the City address. And during his time as Greenwood's chief executive, Mayor Myers and Aspire have forged a productive partnership to welcome companies and grow jobs. But just as importantly, Mayor Myers and Aspire collaborate to support existing businesses and the hardworking business leaders already committed to the community, including all of you here today. And as we've all seen firsthand during Mayor Myers' time in office, economic development has been a key focus of his administration, and together we are building an environment where all businesses of all shapes and sizes can be successful. And I think you'd agree a big part of Greenwood's incredible transformation under Mayor Myers' leadership comes from his vision for quality of place, including enhanced parks and recreation centers like the one we're in here today. But through it all, he's kept a steady eye on infrastructure, ensuring that it supports the businesses you are building, the residents we are welcoming, and the quality of life that we all get to enjoy. And you're going to learn more about all of that from the mayor in just a minute. But before we roll out the red carpet for him, let's talk about another big moment on the horizon, award season. If you didn't take home a Grammy or get nominated for an Oscar this year, don't start practicing your gracious loser face yet. There's still time for a big win. Aspire's Women Leaders Awards are coming up next month, and you can nominate a deserving colleague or your company, but act fast. Nominations close tomorrow. So find an Aspire staff team member, give them your best acceptance speech, and get that nomination in. But the buzz doesn't stop there. Aspire's annual business awards are hitting the stage this April with nominations opening soon. So stay tuned, and who knows, maybe this will be your they like me, they really like me moment. So nominations open soon. Next, I'd like to acknowledge the public officials and Aspire leaders joining us today. Thanks to the public officials joining us, audience, hold your applause. Would you please stand and remain standing? Congressman Jefferson Shreve, Johnson County Commissioner Ron West, Franklin Mayor Steve Barnett, Greenwood Judge Drew Foster, Greenwood Clerk Janine Myers, Greenwood Common Council members Mike Campbell, Linda Gibson, and Ezra Hill, Whiteland Town Council member Joe Saylor, and from Senator Todd Young's office, we have Melissa Acton here today. We also have Whiteland Director of Administration Carmen Young and Director of Operations Sean Young. Can we please thank them for their leadership in our community? Thank you. I'd like to next recognize our generous event sponsors with representatives of our two presenting sponsors today. Please stand and remain standing. Thanks to our friends from Duke Energy and Meyer Najum Construction. Thank you. And would representatives from our community development sponsors please stand and remain standing? Citizens Bank, Johnson Memorial Health, and Williams, Barrett, and Wilkowski. And representatives of today's Pride in Progress sponsors, please stand and remain standing. Bowman Family Holdings, Community Hospital South, Franciscan Health, the George E. Booth Company, Home Bank, IU Credit Union, JCRAMC, JC Fiber, Old National Bank, and the V3 companies. Let's thank them for their support. And would representatives of today's 1864 sponsors please stand and remain standing? Everwise Credit Union, Indiana Members Credit Union, the National Bank of Indianapolis, Simons, Bitzer and Associates, and Van Valer Law Firm. Thank you very much. And now I'm pleased to welcome up Gene Rank from Duke Energy for a message from our sponsor.
I can't get up here. Thank you for having me. I'm Gene Rank with Duke Energy. It's really our honor to sponsor this event and to hear from Mark Myers. As Christian has outlined, the mayor's vision for progress is also ours, and we're really pleased to be a partner in that effort. So I thought I would take the opportunity to reinforce what Duke Energy's priorities are, so you know what we're focused on as a company. First and foremost, safety. We want to provide all of our customers and our communities with safe power. That's priority number one. Second is reliability. We're investing in the grid, and why I wanted to talk about that today is because you're going to see our crews out a lot in Greenwood this upcoming spring and summer, doing lots of work along Smith Valley Road, new roundabouts, but we are investing in our infrastructure to provide safe and reliable power, but also adding capacity, because if we don't have capacity, we can't serve these new and growing businesses in Greenwood, and that is part of our commitment. And then finally, affordability. Duke Energy takes the issue of affordability and providing energy very seriously, and we do that through strong management of our company and managing our business cost. So again, thank you for the opportunity to be with you, Mayor, and with each of you today. Thank you.
Thank you, Gene. And now we will hear from Dan Lawson with Meyer Najum Construction. Welcome, Dan.
Thanks again, Christian. Good afternoon, everyone. My name's Dan Lawson, and I'm Executive Vice President of Business Development for Meyer Najum Construction Company. It's our pleasure to support the state of the city today. So over the years, I've had the privilege of to interact with most of you in this room, you business leaders, and always appreciate everyone's generosity to help when needed, especially Aspire Johnson County. So right now, Meyer Najum, we are currently working with the city of Greenwood on a new fire station that will go out east of Worsville Road. And, excuse me. We should be breaking ground sometime in April or May this year. So the funny thing about this project I joke around is I've called on Mayor Myers for about 7 or 8 years trying to convince him to hire us to do a project. So I still haven't decided if that makes me a good salesman or a bad salesman, but thanks, Mayor, for the confusion. So anyways, like I said, we're proud. And so it's us and Studio Axis and GM Development will be the team to build that new fire station. So again, thank you, Mayor and Chief, for entrusting you with, or entrusting us with your project. Furthermore, we are currently working on a project for Indris Hauser there at Worsville Road and 31. I'm sure most of you have seen it. It's a beautiful building that was designed by Browning Day Architects, so they're our teammate on that project. And we should be turning that over to Indris Hauser sometime in August. So again, thank you everybody for your support. I'm a born and raised Southsider, still live on the South Side, so all of this is very near and dear to my heart. And before I step down, I'd like for our teams to stand up and be recognized real quick. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Dan. Today's luncheon host is the Greenwood Fieldhouse. Will you please help me thank Rob Taggart and his Parks and Recreation team for the hospitality, as well as Jason West and Grafton Peak for the wonderful lunch service. Thank you very much. I want to next acknowledge the Aspire Board of Directors. Would you please stand and remain standing? Our chair this year is Eric Prime of Van Valer Law Firm. Our vice chair for economic development is Greg Simons of Simons Bitzer and Associates. Our vice chair for business advocacy is David Coffey of Mutual Savings Bank. Our board secretary is Leanne Abercrombie Logan of Franciscan Health. Our treasurer is Julia Saltzgaver of the Quality Connections of Central Indiana. Our past chair is Leanne Lawler of Donaldson Capital Management. Bill Beach of CMS Mechanical. Molly Burns of F.A. Wilhelm Construction Company. Dr. David Dunkel of Johnson Memorial Health. Rob Campbell. Chris Ham of HWC Engineering. Dina Hayworth of Hirons. Jackie Haynes, Midland Atlantic Properties. Jamie Medlock of the Naval Surface Warfare Center, Crane Division. Marisol Sanchez of Endresen Hauser. Kyle Steens of NSK. And John Thongmung of Indy Staffing. Would you join me in thanking them for their leadership? I'd like to next thank the many members of our two governance councils, the Economic Development Advisory Council and our Business Advocacy Council here today. Council members, would you please stand and be recognized? Council members on one of those councils. I'd also like to thank the members of our ambassador team. Many are here today. Would you please stand and be recognized, ambassador team members? I want to acknowledge our partners from the Johnson County Community Foundation and Johnson County Tourism for their support and efforts in community development as we pursue top talent. Would you please stand so we can thank you for all of your work? And last but certainly not least, I want to thank my awesome Aspire team, wherever you are at, team. Would you please stand so we can thank you for all of your hard work today and all year. Thank you so much. So as you can see, our community has many, many engaged civic and business leaders. It helps make us stronger, and it moves the community forward. We are pleased to host the Greenwood State of the City Address, and we extend a warm welcome to all of the city officials who have joined us today. It is now my honor to introduce our speaker. Mayor Mark W. Myers was born and raised in Greenwood. He is father to 6 children, husband to Stacy Myers, and is serving his 4th term in office. Public service has been a constant commitment throughout Mayor Myers' life. As a child, he was a member of the Boy Scouts of America and an Explorer Scout with the Greenwood Fire Department. He's also been a volunteer firefighter, a 14-year member of the Greenwood Police Department, and was elected Johnson County Coroner. In addition to his mayoral duties, he serves on several boards and commissions that elevate Greenwood's influence across Indiana and the nation. He is vice chair for the Johnson County Recycling District, serves on the boards of the Indiana Law Enforcement Academy, Indiana Statewide 911, and Accelerate Indiana Municipalities, which is Indiana's municipal growth and leadership organization. He's a champion for our community. Please join me in welcoming Mayor Mark Myers.
Well, good afternoon, everyone. I cannot tell you how excited I am to be here today, and Christian already took out the first part of my speech of introducing everybody, so thank you very much. It's a pleasure to be here, and it's a pleasure to have such a great group of people here today. Being here for I'm still amazed that it's my 14th State of the City address. The third time that thank you. And the third time that we've been able to host this here in the field house. And let's give Rob a hand of applause for what his vision was to make this. Rob Taggart, stand up. Christian, I want to thank you and the entire Aspire team for making this possible. It wouldn't be possible without you and your team for what you do for our city and for our community, and I thank you deeply. I also want to thank my family. I'm very blessed to have quite a few of them here today. We'll start with my beautiful wife, Stacy, the First Lady of Greenwood. She is my rock. I couldn't do this without her support. She kicks me in the tail and keeps me going every day. I'm also proud to have my mother here, the former First Lady of Greenwood, along with two of my sisters. My other one backed out. She gave the excuse she had a cold. And I'm proud to have one of my sons here as well. So we're all about family, and our family has served Greenwood for many generations, and we plan to continue to serve it and leave it better than we found it. As Christian mentioned, we're fortunate to have a lot of elected officials here. Congressman Shreve, very proud to have you here. And Mayor Barnett, my sounding board. Steve and I have a great relationship. We've been very honored to serve our county and to do it well. And whenever we need to talk, discuss, cuss, whatever, we can call each other up and work things out. So Steve, I thank you and your staff for being here as well. Each year, and I'm going to do something a little different this year. I told Christian I'm pulling an audible this year, and I decided this at 3 o'clock this morning, literally. But every year I discuss the 4 pillars on what the city is built. And those 4 pillars include public safety, infrastructure, economic development, and quality of life. And as we talk about those 4 pillars, the first one I want to start with is public safety. Because without a safe community and a well-trained community, we're not going to have a community. Come on up, Chief. Last night at a city council meeting, we were able to present an award to one of our police officers. And a lot of the general public doesn't realize what our police officers and firefighters do every day. This was something that touched my heart. So, Chief, if you would read what you read last night to our officer, I would appreciate it.
On June 12th, 2024, Officer Anthony Swafford responded to 1241 Scarborough Lane on a report of a 6-day-old infant that was not breathing. Upon Officer Swafford's arrival, he found the infant blue with a foamy substance coming from his mouth. Officer Swafford immediately took the infant from the parents and began CPR procedures. Officer Swafford was able to clear the infant's airway, and the child began to cry. The infant was then transported to a local hospital where it made a full recovery.
Thank you, Chief. I wanted Matt to read that because that is who serves you every day. Our public safety is top-notch. It's some of the best in this state, and I'm going to talk about them in a few minutes, or for the next few minutes. But people want to look at a community that's safe because we want our community to be safe so that our existing residents can stay. New residents will want to buy homes. Developers build new neighborhoods, and existing businesses expand their businesses and want to relocate to Greenwood. And I'm proud to say that Greenwood is a safe community. Tens of thousands of new residents have joined us over the past decade, and hundreds of new businesses have relocated or expanded here in our city, which demonstrates their confidence in our public safety. Our police department's grown both in size and quality every year. In 2025, we'll have 82 full-time officers, as well as 10 full-time civilian employees. In 2025, we're going to spend roughly $13.5 million for police protection in our community. And there's a nationwide decline in applicants for careers in law enforcement, which has resulted in a competition for qualified recruits and efforts from understaffed departments to poach officers from other agencies. Many of you have seen billboards and online advertising for openings in departments nearby and even in cities hundreds of miles away. To address the problem, we've steadily raised the salaries and the benefits each year. In 2024, our Common Council agreed to a raise, and they approved a 6.2% raise for 2025, which brings the base salary of a police officer to just over $78,000. The city also contributes a sum of 20%, equal to that, to their pension. We provide our officers with state-of-the-art training and equipment. An example of the recent technology upgrade is the Axon virtual reality. Virtual reality training allows officers to experience real-life experiences and situations, and it measures their response to each situation. We also purchased new body cameras for every officer. We purchased new ballistic vests and rifle-rated plates for those officers. And be careful, because we also bought a new Harley-Davidson motorcycle to assist in traffic enforcement. And those guys like to hide in the bushes. 2023 also brought several changes to our fire department, starting with a new chief, Jamie Washell. Chief Washell introduced several new and exciting ideas to the city. My favorite is the creation of an internal academy. In the past, we required all of our applicants to apply that had already been fully trained and had Firefighter 1 and Firefighter 2 and EMT. But it was difficult to get that, so we started something different. In 2024, we encouraged qualified applicants to apply that had no fire training, and that they would be trained while they were being employed by the city. The results were astonishing. We had 374 applicants for 21 positions. And to reach the class sizes which justified the academy, we applied our 21 trainees with trainees from the Speedway and the Decatur Township Fire Departments. The classes are being taught by veterans from the three departments, as well as outside instructors. And the deep pool of applicants and the intense training has produced an outstanding group of new firefighters. 20 of the 21 new firefighters are set to graduate in the end of March. The class includes 4 military veterans and 6 college graduates. And they've joined us today. So if our recruits would all please stand to be recognized. Thank you. When these 20 young men and women enter service in the end of March, we'll have 82 full-time firefighters. in the plan to hire an additional 6 more at the end of this year. In 2025, we have a firefighter for every available seat on our current trucks and also for the new trucks soon to be housed at our new Station 95. A large part of the fire department's budget is the acquisition and the maintenance of the fire engines. The price of these vehicles has roughly doubled over the last 10 years. Approximately 85% of the department's runs are medical runs, not fires. And since the firefighters who assist the ambulance EMTs and paramedics need to be able to respond to a fire call while assisting on an ambulance call, they've had to chase them with one of our $1 million engines and 4 firefighters. But Chief Washell implemented a rescue squad, which is now staffed with 2 EMTs, and they follow the ambulances in an SUV. The savings in the fuel, the maintenance costs, the wear and the tear has saved quite a bit, and along with the manpower, and it's been a substantial savings for our department. My financial team has been able to find a way to fund 2 new engines, which were placed in service in 2024. The first was a new engine which was housed at Station 94 on the northeast side of the city. The second, and the most recent, was a tiller or a ladder truck, which is a very interesting truck because it has both front and rear steering. The rear steering wheels allow it to navigate tight corners without jumping curbs. And do y'all know that for my birthday, they let me take it out and drive it? I like you guys. And you might have seen this truck as it's been working through downtown to learn to drive it better as they go. The vehicle also has a 100-foot ladder, which is necessary for the new buildings that are being built throughout the city. And last year, the Common Council approved a request to increase the city's levy while keeping our property taxes flat, which was approved by the state. The revenue made it possible for the new Station 95, which will break ground in the spring. Dan, I'm going to hold you to that. And it'll house 12 new firefighters. And it'll be on the southeast side off of Graham Road. We're going to make available also a training facility, which our firefighters will be able to use to train in actual fires, and we'll also be able to allow local departments to come and use our facility to train. We'll have 82 total firefighters when this class graduates. And that's exciting to see where we've come over the past 14 years. Again, the department's 2025 budget is roughly $13.5 million. And the base pay for a firefighter will be just over $77,000. The actual compensation for firefighters is significantly higher than that base pay, because we will also be putting 20% into their pension plan as well. Now, when we talk about infrastructure in the city, 2024 was a busy year for infrastructure. The city invested over $4 million in resurfacing and rebuilding streets. Perhaps the most discussed 2024 project was the rebuilding of Market Plaza, which is right across the street here. The street's heavily traveled and the parking lots are full on the weekends, especially when the weather's warm. It connects the city center splash pad with the Greenwood Public Library, an old city park, and this building, the field house. It's popular with pedestrians, with many moms and small children in strollers. And our planning team created a plan to make it both safer and more attractive, which includes wide walkways, green spaces, and decorative lighting. The timing of the work was dictated by the weather. Because the asphalt plants are closed in the winter, so we had to do work when the weather was warm. The utilities were long overdue for replacement. So the project was much more complicated than just simply repaving and repouring of new streets and sidewalks. And I find it interesting that in all of our projects in Old Town, we discover a lot of hidden treasures. We found multiple sewers that were on no maps. We found an artesian well in downtown. And all of these problems required more work and more time. Indiana American Water partnered with us and brought in new water lines into the area to help increase the size of the pipe and the pressure in our downtown area. And just to kind of go off that a little bit, when we first partnered with Indiana American Water on Main Street, we did this because we were having problems with the water pressure. And I called the president of my office and I said, hey, listen, Matt, we're having problems. We don't have enough water pressure when we have a fire. And he got out a map. And the main line that started at US 31 and came up the hill was a 1-inch main. 1 inch. And it was about 7 years old, so it was about that big. So they partnered with us, and we've replaced all that. Now we have great water pressure downtown, and they've done that again. And they're working on Broadway Street and Pearl Street and Perry Street to replace those lines as well so that we can work together. We also worked with Vectren to replace all the gas lines. We had city contractors that helped install new storm drains to help with all the flooding that we've had in the downtown area. And all the while, we've worked with our local businesses to keep one end of that street open so that the businesses were still able to have business uninterrupted each day. And as we look at the finished product with Market Plaza, I cannot wait to see when the grass takes hold this spring and starts growing again. The car lots are full again on the weekends with the classic cars, and people are back out to enjoying their downtown experience. We also completed mill and overlay projects with the rehabilitation of streets in Meadow Lakes, the Glen Oaks Commons, the Coopers, Oldfield Estates, the Greenwood Commons, and the Meridian Oaks Commercial Subdivision. We also repaired streets and alleyways in our Old Town, in our Greenbrier subdivision, parts of Main Street, and parts of Everett Road. Much of this was funded through the Community Crossing Grants, which is a matching grant through the state. And you're going to see many more projects in 2025. Our sanitation department was extremely busy replacing broken pipes, and contractors were hired to line many aging lines that will give them an additional 60 years of life. Our crews cleaned over 33 miles of sanitary pipe. Sounds like fun, doesn't it? And they inspected over 11,000 feet of pipe. The sanitation also took 2 of our lift stations offline and out of service, which saves the city about $15,000 annually in maintenance expenses. Now, as we talk about quality of life, Greenwood's quality of life continues to be one of our greatest strengths. Our parks and our recreation facilities have enjoyed record participation and growth. The opening of the Greenwood Sports Park gave the community a second splash pad and a new all-inclusive playground. The playing fields and the amenities will allow parks and playing and to expand leagues and community events, giving families even more opportunities to stay active and engaged. And we've already heard that there have been over 1,000 hotel rooms reserved this spring for the traveling teams this season. Freedom Springs continues to be a shining example of a well-managed public facility where, working together with our department, we welcomed over 90,000 visitors. We maintained a strong safety record, and our expenses exceeded our revenues by over $100,000. So the Greenwood Community Center and the Field House, they're also the cornerstones for recreation and fitness in Greenwood, with the memberships and the participation seeing significant increases annually. From expanded youth programs, new archery and pickleball leagues, a 16 new pickleball court complex in Freedom Park, and a unique event like the Taylor Swift Eras Tour, Greenwood Park's version. We're continuously offering diverse programs to the community for engagement by hosting a record number of events, of concerts and holiday celebrations, to new travel opportunities that took residents from Greenwood to Ireland and the Danube River. The success of these programs shows that Greenwood's not just a place to live, it's a place to experience life to the fullest. And as we look ahead, we focus our remains on the continuous improvement. We plan to enhance our recreational offerings, to expand the sports programming at the Greenwood Sports Park, and introduce a fall festival at the amphitheater, and to invest in upgrades to ensure that our parks and our community spaces remain top-tier destinations. And then our final pillar is economic development. A strong local economy is the backbone of a thriving city. And Greenwood continues to attract businesses, create jobs, and drive investment, all while we're maintaining our fiscal responsibility. Despite the economic challenges nationwide, our tax rate has remained both low and flat. In 2013, the city tax rate was 0.6962 cents for the $100 of assessed valuation. In 2025, it's 0.6957 per $100 of assessed valuation. It's actually gone down. And we managed to do that lower tax rate while adding police officers, firefighters, and other staff to our city that are necessary to provide the services that we have. Our rate is one of the lowest in the state, and it is the absolute lowest property tax rate for any city over 20,000 people. Our spending per resident is among the lowest in the state, and our number of employees is among the lowest. Our focus is on keeping the tax rate stable, and that's the best way for the city to ensure financial predictability for our residents and our businesses. And I'm proud of our ability to invest in growth without burdening the taxpayers. We've made our operations more efficient. We've utilized cost-effective financing and secured grants to support key initiatives. Our infrastructure investments, including the Main Street Streetscapes project, try saying that 4 times, is an upcoming traffic project and improvements that are positioning Greenwood for sustained success while our tax rate remains the same. The Indy South Greenwood Airport continues to win awards and is the envy of the region. In 2024, we completed key phases of the Apron expansion project. We introduced new workforce development programs and hosted a successful airport day with thousands in attendance. And plans for 2025 include continued infrastructure improvements and expanded partnerships with local educational institutions to support aviation training. Commercial growth remains strong as well. Last year, we announced the groundbreaking for Anderson Hauser's Innovation Center and the George E. Booth Company headquarters. The project includes a 109,000 square foot facility with office and light industrial facility, which will create 190 engineering, legal, and human resources jobs. The average salary for the facility will be over $80,000 per person per year. Anderson Hauser is going to spend over $50 million to complete it. And I'm happy to report that construction is well underway. The walls and the roof are up, and they're working hard on the interior right now. Greenwood's also enjoyed the addition of several new retail and dining establishments. The Simon Properties recently announced the addition of Panda Express, P.F. Chang's, and Verde Mexican Restaurant. The city's grown by over 12,600 residents, or 23% over the past decade, and the demand for housing remains high. We're meeting that demand responsibly with new single-family housing developments, age-restricted senior housing, and market-rate apartment communities that offer diverse options for our residents. And if you look at these 2 slides, you can see the areas where we're currently building homes and have more in the future. In October of 24, I attended the grand opening of the Madison, which is the luxury apartment complex just behind us. It also shares the ground here on the old middle school property. The facility is home to many new young residents who we expect to contribute significantly to our community. Greenwood remains committed to smart, responsible, and sustainable growth. Whether it's attracting new businesses, improving our infrastructure, or enhancing city services, we'll continue to make decisions that ensure a prosperous future for all who call Greenwood home. So in closing, I want to take a moment to express my gratitude to each one of you for your continued support and the role you play in making Greenwood a community that it is today. As we look ahead to 2025 and beyond, the road to continued success is paved by our shared dedication to growth, innovation, and unity. Together, we're going to build a city that offers a high quality of life. It fosters economic opportunity, and it provides safety and security for all who live here. We have made tremendous strides, but there's still much to do. With the incredible teamwork, the passion and the resilience of our residents, our businesses, and our partners, I'm confident that we're going to continue to rise to every occasion and every challenge and seize every opportunity. The future of Greenwood is bright, and it's an honor to work alongside each and every one of you. Ladies and gentlemen, it's year 14, and we still have a lot to do. So let's get back to work. Thank you.
Thank you again, Mayor Myers, for being with us today. You know, there's a growing push, both at the state and national levels, to make government more efficient, to run more like a business. And I think here in Greenwood, I think that vision's already a reality. I mean, the city's keeping tax rates low and stable. We're generating revenue from services that other cities lose money on, and we're continuously improving our infrastructure. And the result of that is population growth and thriving businesses. So it looks like, Mayor, you cracked the code, so congratulations. Greenwood is an incredibly effective and attractive business market. And as I've said before, if you're not already doing business here, you're missing out. So Mayor, thank you. Thank you very much for making economic development and business success a priority of your administration. We truly, truly appreciate our partnership in working with you. And to all of our member investors in the room, thank you for choosing to be a part of this special business community of engaged, confident business leaders. So thank you very much and enjoy your afternoon, everyone.